Cape slave. Slavery was a mainstay of the labor force of the Cape Colony between its foundation by the Dutch East India Company in 1652 and abolition in 1834, by which the date Cape was under the British rule. Slaves were transported to the Cape from a wide range of areas in the Indian Ocean world, including South and Southeast Asia, Madagascar, and Mozambique. Some were owned by the Volk and labored on the company farms, outsport, and docks. The majority were sold to the settlers and worked as domestic servants in Cape Town or as laborers on the grain, wine, and pastoral farms of the Cape Interior. Throughout the 18th century, slaves outnumbered settlers. Although there were few major revolts, individual resistance was a widespread and desertion common. Some runaways joined indigenous groups in the Cape Interior, while others formed more isolated maroon communities. Towards the end of the 18th century, some slaves claimed individual rights, reflecting to the influence of wider range revolutionary movement in the Antarctic world. A revolutionary uprising took place in 1808, shortly after the abolition of the slave trade and the takeover of the colony by the British. In the early 19th century, slave resentment continued to grow, especially as a boom in wine production increased labor demands. In the 1820s and early 1830s, abolitionist voices were heard in the colony, and slavery was ended at the same time as that in the British Caribbean and Mauritius. Unlike these British colonies, Cape slaves largely continued to work as farm laborers, and their living and working conditions produced the continued impoverishment of farm workers in the Western Cape region. Slaves played an important part in creation of a distinctive creolized Cape culture, notably in development of the Afrikaans language and Cape musical and culinary tradition. They were also responsible for the growth of Islam in the Cape Town and its hinterland, which took a distinctive form influenced by its Southeast Asia origin. Slavery was a key institution in the Cape Colony under its rule by the Dutch East India Company between 1652 and 1795, and under both Dutch and British administration between 1795 and final slave emancipation in 1834. Slaves were the mainstay of the labor force, especially in Cape Town and its rural hinterland. For most of the Volk period, slaves outnumbered free settlers. Slavery thus had a profound impact on demographic, economic, and social characteristics of early colonies. The living and the working condition of slaves. Slave life was dominated by work. "I am always working. I need to rest sometime," complained one of farm slaves in 1759. The Cape economy differed from that of slave plantation societies of the American colonies. Slaves instead worked in domestic households in Cape Town and the smaller towns and villages of its hinterland, such Stellenbosch, Swellendam, as well as one of arable grain and wine farms of the southwestern Cape. 9% of arable farmers owned slaves, holding variety in size, but most settlers farmers owned fewer than 10, holding of more than 20 slaves were exceptional. 19 slaves carried out of the major task of farming, many of which were arduous in pre-mechanical age. Particular heavy labor demands came at planting and harvesting period, and threshing and grape pressing were carried out of the hottest time of the year. Some slaves worked as a shepherd and herders on the cattle and sheep ranches of the pastoralist interior, although the indigenous koi and the sun were more often used as indentures or casual workers on these frontier farms.